Hey, Tristan Financial Pal BD back here again with another Steelbook update, and this would be update number 4, I believe it is. I started with Marvel, then I had DC, then last week was my horror, and this week's now going to be my science fiction. Now, I do have one caveat with and that is last week's horror, I left off a major chunk of my horror Steelbooks, and that is my Universal Monster movies. I don't know why I forgot them. I feel really stupid for forgetting them because they're some of my favorite Steelbooks because they look so awesome. So I'm going to start this off with that, and then I'll show you my sci-fi. Now, this is not as big as a collection as some of my other collections so far. It's a pretty decent size. I only have one TV series in here and a couple other things. But if you're new to my channel, what I'm trying to do here is I have a very large Steelbook collection, So instead of just making you sit down for 2 hours and watching the whole thing, which would just, holy cow, that's a long thing. I figured I'd break it up into segments. Like this week's going to be science fiction. Next week's probably going to be either comedy or action, maybe even animated. I'm not really sure yet. But I'm just trying to show you my Steelbook collection because I do have a fairly extensive collection and I think they're really cool. They're probably some of my favorite movies because I love the artwork. These are display pieces in a lot of cases. So, yeah, let's just get started. So I'll start off with my Universal Monsters. So this should have been last week's video. And my first one is, I love these, man. These were originally put out by Best Buy, and then some of them ended up trickling out to Big Lots. I got all these as a gift from my brother-in-law for my birthday last year. Every one of these covers is done by Alex Ross, who's a really good artist. So these things are just unbelievably beautiful. So the first one here is Bride of Frankenstein. I mean, these are just amazing. The cool thing is all these have slip covers. So you slip it off, and it's just beautiful. I mean, just the artwork is amazing on these things. Look at that. And I love the fact that they come with a slip cover, so I don't have to worry about, it getting scratched up and stuff like that with the slip cover. But, the back kind of looks like the back from the Blu-rays that came out earlier on. But just beautiful. So that's Bride of Frankenstein. Next I have here is The Mummy. Another classic, great movie. Just look at that artwork. It's just incredible. I love these things. These are just, I mean, when I saw these come out, I wanted them really bad. And at the time they were, I want to say they were still like, what, 20 bucks a piece, something like that. I wasn't too sure, but my brother-in-law does work for Best Buy. So he hooked me up. He got it for me for my birthday, and I was completely taken aback and stoked because I really wanted these things. So there's The Mummy. Next one is The Invisible Man. Look at that artwork. It's just amazing. Look at that. Oh, the back. The backs are kind of generic, but I like that way because it looks very much like when you'd watch the movie back, black and white, like there'll be The Invisible Man, I think it's really cool, but just Alex Ross did some amazing artwork on these things. All right, and next we have, actually I got this one into a case, but Creature from the Black Lagoon, another classic movie. Love this movie. Just unbelievably beautiful. And then I have probably one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and that would be Bela Lugosi's Dracula. I mean, you just can never go wrong with Dracula. I mean, it's just look at the artwork. I mean, this is just, I can never say enough about these. I mean, these are definitely display pieces. You can definitely put these up on a shelf and have them all lined up because they look so nice. Next, we have my second favorite Universal horror movie, which is Frankenstein. I mean, again, just beautiful. I love these movies too. I can sit down anytime and watch these movies. They're just so much fun to watch, and there's, they're back to what I call a simpler time. Where they didn't have to have all the blood and guts and everything you see in movies now. They're very much more like just surreal type situations. Where they kind of show you something. You hear a lot of stuff, kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre was. In that movie, if you really watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you really don't see much in that movie. Everything's done off camera. I mean, you hear stuff, and so it's your mind that makes up what's going on, which in a lot of cases can be a lot more scarier than if they just show you what you're looking at. And this one I haven't even opened yet. Holy cow! And that's The Wolfman. Just unbelievably beautiful. I love these things. I'm so stoked to have them. I love them. So that is my horror collection. Those are my horror movies. There may be one or two lingering around out there, but I'll kind of mesh them into other ones. But that's it for that. So let's start off with the rest of this here. Okay, let's go with this first, I think. This makes more sense. So next off, I'm going to show you my Star Wars Steelbook collection. That's right. They're sci-fi. So first off here is Solo, the 4K Steelbook that came out. I know a lot of people bad this movie. I actually liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I really did like it. And I really wish they would make a sequel because I think the guy that played Solo did a really good job. So, Solo. Then next I have the 4K edition of Star Wars The Last Jedi, which I like the Steelbook. I think the Steelbook's very pretty. I think it's got a lot of color to it. It's got a lot of really cool artwork to it. You know, probably not the best of the series of movies, but you know what? I enjoy all the Star Wars movies, so it really doesn't matter to me. But really cool. So that's Last Jedi. Next we have The Force Awakens, which I think is an amazing movie. This is a pretty cool Steelbook. I had a little bit of trouble getting this Steelbook, but it's a pretty cool Steelbook. I think they could do a little bit more. It's kind of generic in some ways. I like the fact that Captain Phasma's on the back and then you got Kylo Ren on the front, but I don't know. I just want a little bit more. This is embossed, so that's cool, but I just want a little bit more out of it. So that's The Force Awakens. And now we're going to the regular trilogy. These are not in order, I don't think, so just bear with me. I think I'm going backwards at this point. So first off, we obviously have Return of the Jedi. These are the reissues that came out a few years ago. I actually really like these because of the fact the front is just, you know, it's a character from one of the movies, something like that. But the back kind of shows some of the original artwork. And that's what I love about these Star Wars ones is I'm always a big fan of the original artwork. Because when I was a kid, I had this poster up in my room. This exact poster up in my room. So kind of a nostalgia type thing. But this is Return of the Jedi. Next, we have my favorite movie of the entire Star Wars trilogy. Well, not really trilogy, but Star Wars saga, I guess. And that is, you know, Empire Strikes Back. Again, I love the back. I had a poster very much like this in my room when I was a kid. So I just think these are really cool looking. I mean, I've always been a big fan of Stormtroopers. I always liked Stormtroopers. So, Empire Strikes Back. Next, we have A New Hope, obviously, with Darth Vader on the cover. Another really cool cover. Again, the back, I had this poster, although it was bigger. It had like the Death Star was up here in blue. It was a really cool poster. I actually still have pictures in one of my mom's photo albums of me, because it was next to my bed, me sitting there with this poster in the background. I love this poster. I used to look at this poster for hours, just dreaming about Star Wars when I was a kid. So, A New Hope. And then we get into the prequel trilogy. So first off here we have Attack of the Clones with Yoda on the front. And I love the green. I think the green looks really cool in this one. And then the back, the artwork on the back. Again, they incorporated that green in there, which I think is really cool. So that's that one. And then next we have Revenge of the Sith with... oh man, I have just forgotten his name, and I just can't believe it. I'm a big Star Wars fan, and General Grievous. There we go. I almost did it, which is really funny because my nephew I just bought him the Lego figure recently. So that in the back. This is probably my favorite of the prequel trilogy. I do like this, and the reason why I like this one is because I love the battle between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker towards the end of the movie. I'd been waiting for that movie since I was a kid, so I did like that battle, and the scenes where he's like, you know, I'm sorry, Anakin, I failed you. I just like that part. I think it's really cool. So there's that one. And the last one is probably the weakest one in my opinion of the series, and that would be The Phantom Menace. Although I do love the cover because Darth Maul looks really cool on there. And even the back looks really cool. I like the red with Darth Maul kind of looming in the background. And I was a big fan of Qui-Gon Jinn. I'm kind of bummed that they had in the first movie, they went, yeah, get out of here. We don't want you back again. So, but Attack of the Clones. So that is my Star Wars Steelbook collection. Now, I'm going to say one thing. I am missing one movie in Steelbook. And this is actually a plea by me to you guys out there. I cannot find Rogue One in Steelbook. It's the only Star Wars movie I don't have in Steelbook. If anybody gets any kind of... Anybody knows of somewhere that somebody has one, or they know something, if you can let me know, I would definitely, you know, if you can let me know where I can pick up one, I really want to get, because I want to complete this Steelbook, this Steelbook collection, and I just need Rogue One. So if anybody out there knows, any of my fans out there know of anywhere that I can get it, please leave some comments down below and let me know where I can get it, because I really want to get it. All right, so that's it for Star Wars. Now, the next one, which is more closer to my heart, because I always say live long and prosper at the end, and that would be Star Trek. I don't have a whole lot of Star Trek Steelbooks because they didn't really, in the United States, they really didn't put a lot of them out. There's a company called Zavvi that did put out the motion picture all the way through Nemesis. But, you know, those were overseas. And I do have a couple of those, actually, I'll be showing you. But in the United States, they never really put these out in Steelbook, with the exception of the 3 recent ones that were the J.J. Abrams Abrams ones, they did put those out in Steelbook, but the other ones they didn't. So I'm still looking for those as well. But we'll start off with the first one. This is the only TV series I have Steelbook-wise in science fiction, and that is, of course, Star Trek Discovery Season 1. I love this show. It's really awesome. I know hopefully when Season 2 comes out, they're putting another Steelbook. This was a Best Buy exclusive. I love this show. I'm totally stoked with it. I'm glad I got the Steelbook. Just beautiful. So there's Discovery. Then next we have, these are a couple of my Zavies. So I do have Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock and Zavi. These are part of the Zavi had done this 50th anniversary set. You can see the back has the Delta Shield with 50 on there. This is part of their 50th anniversary edition, and if you put, they're all spined like this, so you put them all together, it says 50 on there. So I'm trying to collect these. I have this one, which is the Star Trek 3, and then I do have Star Trek The Motion Picture, which most people bash this movie. I actually really like this movie. I've seen it several times, and the reason why I like it so much is because for me, it's very much like just an extended episode of the original series. So I've always this movie always has a special place in my heart. I just, for some reason, I just really like it. And it's not my favorite of the Star Trek series, but it's up there. I really do like this. But again, here's the Delta Shield, the back with the 50, and it's really pretty. I love how they use the artwork. And I've always liked this poster. I've always liked how they got the colors coming down like that. And you got Kirk and Spock on there, and then Lieutenant Ilia, the Enterprise. I mean, it's just really cool looking. So there's the motion picture. Then the last three are, of course, the J.J. Abrams ones. I do have all three in Steelbook. So the first one, obviously, the first Star Trek. Got that in Steelbook, no problem. There's several different versions of this one out there in Steelbook. So there's the front, and there's the back. And I do like the remake. I really do. I think Chris Pine and these guys did a really good job. I really do enjoy these things. Is it as good as the original series cast? No. But I think for what it is and kind of a spin-off of that, I do really enjoy that. So there's the first one. And then, of course, the next one we have, which is Star Trek Into Darkness, which I actually really like this one. I like Han being on the front. You see in the Enterprise come flying down, crashing onto San Francisco. I think it's really cool. The back, you got him, in shackles. It's really cool. I really do like this Steelbook. And I mean, if this Steelbook came in a set with I did 3 ships with it, 3 little model ships that came with it in a big set. So there's Into Darkness. And the last one, obviously, is Star Trek Beyond, which I had a little bit of trouble getting this one. And there's several different versions of Steelbook out there, but I did have a little bit of trouble getting this one. I ended up picking up a Best Buy later on, but it took me a while to find it. But again, it's very much reminiscent of, if you look at it, look, it's very similar to the motion picture, how they use the coloring and it's coming down, with Kirk and Spock flanking the female character in the middle. I mean, they literally ripped this off, it looks like, to a point. Although the back is much different. I actually like the back with the colors still going, the Enterprise shooting up through up and away. So I do like it. But yeah, there's my Star Trek Beyond. So that's it for Star Trek. Like I said, there's not a lot out there. If anybody knows of a way I can get some of these Zavi ones, let me know. I really, I know I have a website I can order them off of, but if you know of another way I can get a deal, because I know they put it in a complete box set too, with all these individually in a box set. So that's be really cool too. All right, so now we're done with that. Let's go into regular science fiction, and the first one I'm going to show you is Ender's Game. I actually picked this up at a used record store, believe it or not. So, pretty cool flick. I like this Steelbook. This Steelbook is really cool looking. Really neat back. The movie, I did like the movie. I think my problem with this movie was a little bit slow. It was slow paced. So sometimes you're like, okay, let's pick it up a little bit. But there's Ender's Game. The next, I wish I had the original of this, but I do have the remake of this one in Steelbook. And this one is Total Recall with Colin Farrell. I did like this movie. Don't get me wrong, though. I'm a huge Schwarzenegger fan, so the original is still the best. But I actually really did enjoy this movie. And oddly enough, I got this on eBay for $4 shipped. I couldn't believe I bid it, just randomly bid on it, and just let it go. And a couple days later, I get this email that says, you won $4 shipped. I was like, all right. So pretty cool, nice Steelbook. Really, it's got a lot of really cool artwork to it. Definitely has a lot of really cool artwork to it. I like it. So there's Total Recall. Next we have, and this is the remake of it, but this is Robocop. This is the remake. ED209 on the back. Look at that. Dun, 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 dun. Stop. I did like this movie. Is it as good as the original Paul Verhoeven? No, by nowhere means. Paul Verhoeven's with Peter Weller, that's an unbelievable classic. You're never going to be able to capture that movie again. You know that, I'll buy that for $1. But this was a pretty good remake. They did a pretty good job. they changed a few things in there, but I still enjoyed it, and I actually really like the Steelbook. It's not necessarily a Steelbook; it's a metal pack. And you could tell, so you can see the hinge marks right here, and I did some metal pack, but I kind of want to throw this in there anyways. So there's Robocop. The next one is, and you guys are going to laugh at me, but I actually really like this movie. I saw it in theaters. I was like, dude, I love it. And then it's Battle Los Angeles. It took me a long time to find this Steelbook. I ended up finding it at a used record store as well, but it took a really long time to find it. But I'm actually a big fan of this movie. I don't know why. I think I just like it because it's like, aliens fighting humans, and it's like, here we go. So I don't know. Something about this movie I really like. So I think it's a really cool looking Steelbook. But there's Battle Los Angeles. I'm going to hold that one off for a minute. The next one I got, and I picked this up at a used record store too, and that is Interstellar. Really, really good movie. It's a slow burn though, but really good movie. I think the artwork on this is really cool looking. The back, you got kind of like that desolate, landscape there, but really cool. Like this movie. Next is one of my favorite movies of last year, and I absolutely love this movie. This is the 4K version of it. Ready Player One. I love this movie because this is an homage to the time of my life when I was in my heyday, which is the 80s. I'm a big fan of the 80s. I grew up in the 80s. That was my heyday when I was in grade school and high school. I mean, I was an 80s kid, so this movie really spoke to me big time. So I really, really enjoyed it. Got the 4K edition of it. Beautiful Steelbook. I love the coloring in it and just the artwork in general. So Ready Player One. The next movie I have, and I can't believe that Shout Factory put this out in Steelbook, and I was really stoked they did, because I've always been a big fan of it ever since I was a kid, and that is Buckaroo Banzai. And if you've never seen Buckaroo Banzai before, you should definitely check it out. This is just an insane movie. Peter Weller is amazing in it. They got, Jeff Goldblum, and I mean, it's just a great, weird movie, but I really love it. Maybe I need to watch it again. But this is great. The back's kind of generic, but for Scream Factory to put this out was absolutely unbelievable. So, Buckaroo Banzai. Now, next is a twofer. I have two of the same movie in Steelbook. The first one is the pop art version of Serenity. Big fan of Firefly. Love Firefly. Was really upset when they canceled it. But I just love this Steelbook. I like these pop art ones. These comic book cover ones, because I think they look really cool. And I have several of them. But I love this. But then I decided, well, they put this out, a 4K version. I'm outside to grab it. So that is the 4K version of Serenity. Again, because I'm a big fan of this movie. I love Nathan Fillion. I love the characters that are in that movie. So I had to get this one as well. So this was another Best Buy one that came out a while back. So there's Serenity. This one is one of my only 3, I think, total Mondo Steelbooks in my entire collection. And this one is Highlander. There can be only one. Mondo does an amazing job with Steelbooks. It's got a slipcover in here, but look at the artwork. It's just, it pops. It tells the whole story of the movie just within the little panels here. I mean, this is a great movie. I love this movie so much. The back is very comic bookish in the back, the kind of little blurbs and stuff like that. But Mondo puts out an amazing Steelbook. I mean, they just do a really good job. Oddly enough, Best Buy. I got it at Best Buy. I was really, really surprised, because most of the time when I look for Mondo Steelbooks, I have to look online. But I walked into Best Buy one day and it was just sitting there, and I'm all, nope, grabbing that one, and walked out. I mean, it was like, gonna get that for sure. So, Highlander. Probably my favorite of the series. The other ones are, the second one's kind of hard to get through. The third one's okay, but this one's, I remember seeing this as a kid, just be completely blown away. So there's Highlander. Next is this has got to be one of my all-time favorite movies. I remember seeing this in theaters. I love the movie. I probably watch it 2 or 3 times a year. I love it so much just for the insanity that it is. Again, it's another Paul Verhoeven movie, and that guy just, I mean, sometimes he speaks to me, I swear. And that is the 4K version of Starship Troopers, and it's the pop art version too. I love this movie. It's such a propaganda movie, but it's so well done, and it's just, some of the acting's pretty cheesy in it, but it's a fun movie. I mean, again, it's Paul Verhoeven, so it's just kind of like out there. It's just, he goes over the top on a lot of stuff, but I've always loved this movie. Johnny Rico, man, he's just kicking butt all over the place. It's just good stuff. Jake Busey in this movie, who's just hilarious. Love this movie, Starship Troopers. And of course, the tag team with that, because it came out the same year and I saw it in theaters the same time. Another one of my all-time favorite movies. I love this movie so much, it's ridiculous. I just watched it the other day. That's The Fifth Element. Lilo Dallas Multipass. I mean, I love this movie. I can never talk enough about Fifth Element. I mean, it just works on so many levels, so many great characters in this movie. Chris Tucker is absolutely over the top amazing in this. Bruce Willis does an amazing job. I mean, everybody in this movie. Mila Jovovich, I think that's how you say her last name, is as awesome as Lily Dallas. I mean, I've probably seen this movie 100 times easily. You never go wrong with it. I can just throw this movie in, and it's got great music to it. It's just a lot of fun, and I love the artwork to this thing. I mean, just absolutely incredible. Fifth Element, man, I tell you. Next one I have here is Valerian. Another good movie. I've only watched it once. Excuse me. I need to watch it again. But I actually really liked it. It's got an okay story, but the visuals are incredible. Absolutely incredible in this movie. This is the 4K version of it. But unbelievably amazing. It's a good movie. It's Valerian. All right, the next is a couple of Arnie movies. The first one obviously is Terminator 2, Judgment Day. God, I love this movie. I remember seeing it in theaters and running right out because remember, was it Guns N' Roses put 2 CDs out at the same time and had songs from this movie and other stuff in there. I love this movie. Arnold is his best at this thing. Look at that stall. It's the exoskeleton, the fire all around in the back. You've got Arnold going, that's right, what's up? I mean, just a great movie. And there's several different versions of Steelbook out there, but Terminator 2. And then I have 2 different versions of this movie. I know everybody blasts this one. It's like, oh, that's not the best one in the series, but I still enjoyed it. And that is Terminator Genesis. So this is the one version I have of it with Arnie on the front looking badass as usual. And on the back you got Amelia Clark doing the thing holding the exoskeleton head. I love that. So Terminator Genesis, this one. And then about a year ago, Best Buy reissued a bunch of stuff and they put it back out again. It looks like this. So with obviously a lot more characters. You got John Connor on there now. You got Kyle Reese on there now. You know, Arnie still looking badass as usual. But, and then We Can't Stop Judgment Day. So another one that I just had to pick it up. I'm a huge Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. I have been since I was a little kid. I mean, I really like his movies from Commando to Predator. I mean, he just put out so many great movies, especially in the 80s, that I've always been a big fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger. So there's that one. And then next is another movie that I really, really enjoyed, and I was really stoked that I did pick it up in Steelbook, and that is Will Smith's I, Robot. I like this movie. Alan Tudyk did the voice of the robot, who is from Serenity and, Firefly. He played Wash. This is a really cool science fiction movie. You know, it's kind of something you can almost see happening maybe in the future with, as robots become more and more prevalent, we start using them more and more. You can see it coming down the road where we're going to start having robots in homes helping out around the house, stuff like that. So, really cool flick. I've always really liked it. Murder mystery type situation. Really good movie. iRobot. The next one, I know I'm going to get slammed on some of these too, but that's okay. First one is, and oddly enough, I'm filming this on July 4th, and that is Independence Day, the original. Again, great movie. Saw this like 3 times in the theaters when it originally came out. You got Will Smith on the back looking badass, just taking down a ship. I mean, and I'm going to actually watch this today because it's Independence Day. I do it every year. I've done it every year since the movie came out. So I've always really loved this movie. I mean, I think it's just got a great combination of action, comedy, some drama in there. It's just, Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich did a really good job with this, and I've always loved this. So it's Independence Day. Here we go. And that's where I'm going to get the grief. And I do have Independence Day Resurgence. I didn't think that this movie was that bad. I think that there's some things they took liberties in, and I kind of wish there's some characters that came back, and I kind of think that they killed off a couple characters really quickly that were like, wait a minute. But I still think for the most part, it's a fun popcorn movie just to sit down, especially if you watch it in tandem with the original. It's fun to watch. At least they got back the majority, even though there's a big span between the two movies, at least they got back the majority of people for the sequel. So that's what I always thought was really impressive. But Independence Resurgence, and then there's the back. And this next one, I don't know, I could have swore I had the original in Steelbook too, but maybe I don't. But this one is Pacific Rim Uprising. I love the Pacific Rim movies. I think they're really cool. I love Charlie Day in them. I love Charlie Hunnam in them. I just think these are really fun movies. And this is a really cool looking cover with the kaiju. No, the kaiju were the monsters, weren't they? But I mean, there's just some cool stuff, and I really enjoyed this movie. Not as much as the original. I do enjoy the original a little bit more, but this is just a fun movie. So it's Pacific Rim Uprising. The next we have, I love this movie. I love this movie. I love the TV series this movie ended up spawning, and I own all the seasons of that TV series, and that is Stargate. You can't go wrong with Stargate. Kurt Russell, James Spader, just an amazing movie. I can sit down and watch this anytime. I love it. It's got the whole... I've always been very much into Egyptian-type theme movies, which obviously is pretty prevalent in this movie. That's kind of the reason why I like a lot of, like, you know, Indiana Jones, because a lot of that stuff is like archaeology and all that. So I love this movie. I remember seeing it in theaters with my brother when we were kids. So there's Stargate, and then, you know, the back is beautiful. I love the blue, how it kind of swirls around the gate itself. So Stargate. The next one I have here is a movie that came out recently. This is a 4K edition of it, and that is Blade Runner 2049. I don't have the original Blade Runner in Steelbook, but I do have the sequel in Steelbook. I really like this movie. I thought it was a great sequel to Blade Runner, which, in my opinion, Blade Runner is one of the best sci-fi movies I think around. I know it didn't do very well when it was in theaters many years ago, but I think it's a masterpiece in a lot of ways. Blade Runner is such a good movie. It has so many levels to it that it really takes multiple viewings to really see what they were trying to flesh out. I really like it. And I thought this movie was just as good. I like the continuation. I like the fact that they got Harrison Ford back. I like the fact they brought Edward James Olmos back. I think that was really cool because there's a major gap between the original and this one. There was like a 30-year gap in between them. So really cool movie. I really liked it. I was really stoked when it came out. So there's Blade Runner 2049. And the last one I have here for my sci-fi steelbook collection is actually a 3-movie set. That's right, a 3-movie set. And that is Men in Black Trilogy. Look at this thing. It's another one of those pop art ones. This is a Best Buy. I got it a while back. Just love it. I think the cover's really cool. The back, you got the one little guy there with sunglasses on going, "What's up?" Just really cool. The only bummer part about this is not the entire series anymore, because they had the other one that came out recently. I haven't heard a lot of good things about that one, but I do love these 3 movies a lot. The first, Men in Black, is just so well done. It's just, I can watch that movie anytime. It's just really fun. I really like it. So, Men in Black Trilogy, and that is it. That is my sci-fi steelbook collection. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Leave me some comments down below. What sci-fi steelbooks do you guys have? Or which ones are you interested in getting or something like that? Or do you collect steelbooks? Let me know. Also, click the like button if you enjoyed this video. Click the subscribe button if you want to see more videos by Big D here. That little bell in the corner will let you know when I do put new videos up. I do put new videos up probably 2 to 3 times a week. I know I have one going up today, and this one should be going up tomorrow or the next day. So, thank you guys all for watching. I really appreciate it. Everybody have a very happy and safe 4th of July. Everybody take care. Always keep punching everyone what you're fine. And let me tell you, on my next week's video, when I do my weekly update, you're going to see a few things I picked up at the flip store yesterday. It was amazing. So, but thank you guys all for watching. And as always, live long and prosper.